Captain Ibrahim Traoré, or simply IB, as some people call him, has been making waves across Africa. It's hard to scroll through social media without coming across something about him. And honestly, it's all positive. Like currently, there are reports that he has turned down an offer from Saudi Arabia to build 200 mosques in Burkina Faso. Instead, IB has urged the kingdom to focus on real infrastructure that will directly benefit his people. Think schools, hospitals, and job creating businesses. Remember earlier this year when Traoré was welcomed in Ghana during President John Mahama's inauguration? I posted a video on that moment, and oh my goodness, the love, likes, comments, debates. It was amazing. It appears that Traoré is on a whole new level. Captivating hearts across Africa in a way that feels like a movement. So what is it about his leadership that resonates so deeply with people across Africa? Is it his defiance? Is it his vision or something else? Because here's the thing, just 2 years ago, Ibrahim Traoré was a virtually unknown officer. Then, in September 2022, everything changed. He led a surprise coup. And just like that, he became the youngest leader of Burkina Faso. What makes him stand out from the crowd? Unlike most past military takeovers, which often had the backing of Western powers, Traoré seems to be playing by his own rules. He's not afraid to reject Western influence, and as we've seen, he's also distanced himself from ECOWAS, and he's also teaming up with Niger and Mali, who are also under military rule. And that's a bold move, right? At 36, Ibrahim Traoré is the world's second youngest head of state, and that's something Africa's youth, I think, are seriously vibing with. They see him as a fresh break from the past, a leader who's challenging colonial legacies and pushing for self-reliance. Some even have compared him to Thomas Sankara, the iconic revolutionary of Burkina Faso. So who is Ibrahim Traoré? Well, born in 1988, he quickly rose through the military ranks after joining in 2010. He's even served as a UN peacekeeper in Mali before becoming a captain in 2020. And that's already a big deal in the military world. When Ibrahim Traoré seized power in 2022, he made it clear. He said for him, it wasn't about grabbing power. It was a response to the government's failure to tackle the growing terrorism and insecurity that had plagued Burkina Faso. And since taking charge, we've seen quite a lot of movement. IB seems to be focusing on self-reliance. He's cut ties with foreign aid and boosting local industries, from increasing gold production to launching mobile clinics. It appears that he's all about making Burkina Faso stronger on his own terms. And also, don't forget, immediately he came to power, he passed laws to fight corruption, and he even saw some former ministers convicted for embezzling funds. Really, news from Burkina Faso is that he is changing lives, and some economic highlights that are out there is that, ministerial salaries were cut by 30%, civil servant pay were raised by 50%, 400 plus tractors and tools distributed to boost local farming. And then he's launched gold mines, cutting out unrefined exports. Now, he's also on record, especially on this issue about mining. We know how to mine our gold, and I don't understand why we are going to let multinationals come and mine it. He's quoted as saying that. But with all this, security still remains a massive challenge for Ibrahim Traoré. Despite leading counter-offensives against militants, violence continues to surge. Over 7,600 deaths in 2024 alone, with 2 million people displaced. That's according to Africa Center for Strategic Studies. Now, let's not forget, the reason Captain Ibrahim Traoré stepped up to power in the first place was insecurity that has been ravaging the Sahel for years. The fight against violence and extremism in the region is a decades-long battle. And, well, IB appears to, or rather, he seems determined to change all this. And we've seen a bit of movement on that front. He's joined forces with Mali and Niger to form a joint military force. And yeah, this isn't just talk. It's action. Together, they're taking matters into their own hands. Yeah, showing the world that they're ready to defend their territories and secure their people. Recently, he made a major decision to pull Burkina Faso out of ECOWAS, calling out the regional body for doing little to support his country's fight against insecurity. He believes ECOWAS is more about protecting Western interests than actually helping African nations. But that's not all. Ibrahim Traoré has also distanced himself from France, pushing for African autonomy and making it clear that it's time for African nations to take control of their own futures. And this shift is resonating deeply across the region, especially in countries that feel let down by Western powers and their influence. It's a message of self-reliance, and it's one that is sparking conversations everywhere. But here's the big question. Can Ibrahim Traoré live up to the hype? Will he deliver on security, stability, and economic growth that Burkina Faso so deeply needs? Or will his leadership become another chapter in Africa's long history of military takeovers? Only time will tell, right? What do you think?
If you want to break with these imperialist forces, it's simple. We denounce the agreements. Everything starts from there. I think the example of Chad in any case is tangible. They started by denouncing the agreements. Otherwise, if we don't denounce the agreements, just saying that the bases leave, we haven't done anything. Because the problem lies in the colonial agreements, the defenses that have been signed since independence. The most dangerous is not the one you see in the bases. The most dangerous are the military advisors. Military advisors exist in all these countries. They existed in Burkina as well until the end of 2022, until we took responsibility. And who are these military advisors? They are the ones who are supposed to implement France's policy. Here, they must work to make our armies very weak so that France can always have the argument to exist here. Under their influence, they had succeeded. Our sentinels were therefore standing guard with sticks. That's what France wants from our armies. When we reach this stage, we have no choice but to want them to come and settle. But the Burkinabe army managed to get rid of the military advisors. Unfortunately, I think that in 2019, after Operation Otapono, where the French saw that the Burkinabe army still had the capacity to respond to terrorists, they called the chiefs of staff in France. They instructed him to reintegrate the military advisors throughout the structure. Well, they did not agree. But upon returning to the country, the politicians instructed him to accept the military advisors. And that's when the military advisors returned to the Burkinabe army in 2019. With all the consequences we know, the army was on the verge of disappearing in the years 2020, 2021. And indeed, this is the time when many soldiers had to desert because there was no longer any hope. We were in the process of collapsing. That's a bit how they work at the General Staff headquarters. In all army headquarters, in the schools, they are the ones who are supposed to dictate the policy of our army. They are the ones who tell us when to recruit, how to recruit, and what to do with them. They are in the schools to tell us how to train them, and so on. As long as these military advisors are there, you are not independent. Your army will just have the appearance of an army that is there to perform parades, a circus. But when war comes, you will realize that a parade is one thing, but war is another thing. You have to break the agreements. It's the only way to have an independent army and build strength. But many people do not understand this, perhaps. And even with these agreements, France selects from our states officer cadets to go and train them. It's through these same agreements. But in reality, these officers who go to train, for the most part for France, They come to serve the French state in their country. They do not come to serve our countries. They train them so that they come to serve the interests of the French state. I can provide evidence of this. When we revolted, many officers in Burkina who were trained in France were immediately contacted to tell them that it was time to take action because you were trained for this, to serve France's interests. Most of these officers reported back to us. We took note and we continued to monitor. When an officer trained in France returns to his country and unfortunately dies, either by accident or on the battlefield. In France, there is a night of tribute to the fallen in the army, as there is everywhere else. During the night of tribute to the fallen, the name of the officer in question is mentioned, and it is said, died for France. They do not train him to serve his country. They train him to serve their state. And in many African states, there are plenty of such officers.
If you're going to talk about fine shit, this is the only fine shit I want to hear you talk about. This is Ibrahim Traoré. He's a president of the transition of Burkina Faso. The president of the transition of Burkina Faso. I've never heard that title before. President of the transition? I don't know. Does that mean something else? But when I saw that, I was like, oh, he's the president of transforming this country, of improving this country, and of course, Africa. This man is in the process of, and is carrying the entire continent of Africa on his back. He's going to the oppressors and the colonizers and saying, we don't want your fake help. We don't want your fake help. We're okay. And this would be fine shit. As a Jamaican, I am so proud of this man. I'm so happy to see a man like this in my time, in my generation, right now. And honestly, I live in America as well. And I know that Black Americans and Black people in America right now in a resting phase. And it just come to me. I was like, the reason why we don't have any energy for the American fight, for the fight for America, is because it's not our fight. Our fight belongs in Africa. Our fight belongs for Africa. No, I'm not going to tell anybody what to do. I'm not that type. But speaking for me, this is what I care about. I care about this most. And I'm from Jamaica. Don't get me wrong. I love Jamaica. I love my culture. I love my people. I'm very proud to be Jamaican. But if I'm going to give any energy and effort for a piece of land, it's going to be the land and the continent of Africa. Because the very Rasta man will say Jamaica is capture land and Africa is the motherland. Because we cannot be good no matter where we are in this world. We won't get the respect that we want and deserve. We won't be seen as valuable as we should be seen if Africa is not where it should be. You get me, I say? And this is the beginning of it. And the way how this man is divinely guided and protected, this man is covered. 18 assassination attempts, and he's been president since 2022. 3 years, 18 assassination attempts. Why? Because he's not allowing them to put them hand in his country anymore. He's not allowing them to rape them anymore. Him say, no, we don't need your fake help. Move and go. Worry about your country. I'm worrying about my country. Relax, we got it. We literally have the resources that you keep taking, so we'll be fine. We have it. The resources you use to build your country and make your country powerful, it's ours. So what we need your help for? Why are you here? Why are you here? I'm with it. This man now have free education in his country. Let me tell you, I'm getting ready to go to Africa. I don't know when, I don't know where, but this is what it is. This is what it is. Fine shit. Yeah. Black people, clock in. This is what it is. Clock in. Hey, Ibrahim.
Thank you for watching Great Minds Blacks.